Good morning. Can you hear me okay? With no rehearsal, some of these things are being tested out. My name is Mr. Owenberg, and I'm the very proud principal of John F. Kennedy High School. On behalf of our superintendent of schools, Mr. John D. Tomaso, members of the Board of Education, and the faculty and staff, I'd like to welcome you to our 53rd commencement ceremony for the students at
homecoming, and once again, we owned the world. We all came together in the Mepham parking lot the Sunday night before the game and decorated our cars. Laughing, screaming, having the best time ever, we'll never forget that night. Then Spirit Week started, and again we made memories. Dressing up each day, there was no end to our creativity, our enthusiasm, our ability to put differences aside and become one unified class. Homecoming was September 28th. We took over the bleachers, some of us in our black senior jerseys, some of us with our chests painted, some of us with sunburns seared into a big P for Pirates. Our voices carried throughout the entire game as we cheered our football team on. The game was definitely closer than anticipated, but we won 14-7. As we left the game, we slapped each other 5, and we felt like we owned the world once again. Our last greatest moment together was Battle of the Classes. Although we didn't know it then, Battle of the Classes would actually be the last senior event of the year. No one expected the seniors to sell as many shirts as we did, but we blew the freshmen, softs, and juniors away and took what was ours, the large bleachers. As each senior walked into the gym dressed in black, we were there to win, and we did just that. And this year wasn't like the rest, where other grades seemed to have beat the seniors, but the seniors always won. We actually dominated, and we felt like we owned the world. Then a few months later, the world changed. On March 13th, an ordinary Friday, we walked through the back doors of Mepham as if it was any old, ordinary day. Yes, we were aware of what was going on, but we had no idea what would happen. We thought the school might just be closed for a couple of days for deep cleaning, and we pick up a few days later where we left off. As we gathered at the ledge, my friend Kira said, "Guys, this could be our last day of high school." We all told her she was being crazy, and we each went our own way to class. The next day, though, our lives as seniors officially changed. We didn't return to school as planned, not the next day, or the next week, or the next month. When May 1st rolled around and we were still sheltering at home, our hearts broke. May 1st, Commitment Day, a day when seniors historically dress up and tell the world what their plans are for the coming fall. A day when we tell the world we figured it all out. Needless to say, we were all blindsided by the coronavirus. We were never going back to high school. Not to thank our teachers in person, get our yearbook signed, wave to Principal Gomez or Assistant Principals Mr. Dell, Dr. Karn, and Mr. Safina. Never again sitting on the senior ledge. Never again saying goodbye to our classmates and acquaintances. Never again going to La Piazza or Chipotle during lunch. Never again being part of a Mepham Pirates game. Never again being able to count down the days of our senior year. Despite the many nevers, the pandemic did, however, make us stronger. We became part of the first ever distance learning experiment Mepham had ever known, and we found ways to stay connected and unified. We learned that we never take anything for granted again: our friends, our families, our teachers, and our school. No one will ever understand the heartbreak and frustration we went through during this time. While trying to describe this day, I came across a quote by Oprah Winfrey to the class of 2020. "I know you may not feel like it, but you are indeed the chosen class for such a time as this." The class of 2020, you are also a united class, the pandemic class, that has the entire world striving to graduate with you. This is exactly right. We are a strong and powerful class, a class that has been united by all we have accomplished and all we've been through together. It's safe to say our graduating class is so much more than any other graduating class. We might not have it all figured out, but we still feel like we own the world. As we go forward in our individual goals, pursuits, and achievements, we'll remember that we are a united class, a powerful class, and a force to be reckoned with. I realize now that we're not leaving Mepham. Mepham is my family and yours too. We are all part of a community that bonds us together, that brings us home in times of happiness and in times of trouble. We are all in this together, and we will always be in this together. Congratulations to you all. Once a pirate, always a pirate. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Riley Cornell from our class, who would like to say a few words about Christopher Gleason, who we lost back in 2017. Christopher Gleason was my best friend. A friend who should be here with me, who is smart, kind, generous, and funny, the kind of friend that I would have kept for life. I met Chris on the first day of kindergarten at Newbridge Road School, and as my mom likes to tell me, the first thing I said when I came out of class that day was, "So I met this boy. His name is Chris, and he's really funny." And from that day in kindergarten until the day Christopher passed away, he was always my best friend, even if we didn't talk as frequently. I always knew that he was somebody that could be there for me forever, and I would be there for him as well. He was super smart, hilarious, and amazingly kind. He was like a brother to me and my little sister, Lily, who loved him so much. I cherish all the memories I have with him by my side, whether it was going to the beach, performing in talent shows, movie nights, or just hanging out with each other. All of it is held in a special place in my heart. Chris was always willing to lend a hand, a smile, and a hug whenever you needed it. He was a loyal and loving friend. He was always there for everyone, no matter the circumstance. He deserved to be here today, to be graduating with all of us, and to be moving on to achieve all of his goals and dreams that I am sure he would have achieved. He never would have let anything stop him from getting to the amazing future ahead of him. I'm truly heartbroken that I will never get to see the things that he would have achieved. The only thing that makes me smile about losing him is that I know he is with me every single day in my heart, and I know he's watching us and congratulating us right now. He'll be part of my world forever, and I hope he's always remembered for being the amazing person he was. Thank you, Riley. The traditional definition of a high school salutatorian is a student with the second highest average in the graduating class. Spencer Mattis, the salutatorian of the class of 2020, is an outstanding student on so many levels. As an AP scholar with distinction, Spencer possesses a genuine love of learning that is evident in all that he does. Spencer is an integral member of the Mepham community and has participated in so many extracurricular activities. He is not the guy who just concentrates on schoolwork. Rather, he continues to thrive on being a lifelong learner. Spencer is by far one of the most beloved and respected students at Mepham. Spencer will continue his education in the fall at Binghamton University in their Scholars Program. Ladies and gentlemen, your class salutatorian, Spencer Mattis.
Good morning, Principal Gomez, Assistant Principals Mr. Del Rosario, Mr. Safina, and Dr. Karn, teachers, administrators, parents, distinguished guests, and graduates. Or good afternoon, depending on what time of day your ceremony is being held. My name is Spencer Mattis, and it is both a privilege and an honor to be a part of Mepham's Class of 2020 graduation celebration. Of course, we had all hoped to celebrate this auspicious occasion together as a class, but the current pandemic has thrown a curveball into not only our graduation plans, but the world's trajectory as well. We must not let this moment in our history define our futures. It will, however, always be part of who we are and where we come from, and it will undoubtedly serve to motivate and remind us to look towards the future while simultaneously embracing the past. Our journeys to reach this moment have all been as different and unique as we are as individuals. Each of us has overcome our own obstacles, trials, and tribulations as we forge our own paths to becoming who we are and who we aspire to be. I think back to us as overzealous and naive middle school students. No longer in elementary school, we were prepared for everything and anything except lockers. Regardless of which elementary school we came from, we quickly bonded over our shared and ubiquitous fear of lockers. It was only a matter of time before we successfully learned how to navigate not only our locker combinations, but the stairways and halls of middle school as well. Before we knew it, we were sailing on towards our next seemingly daunting challenge, high school. It took time, support, encouragement from teachers, administrators, family, and friends, and yes, more than a few mistakes along the way, but we all adjusted and found our niche at Mepham. Here, we were encouraged to try new experiences, whether they were classes, sport teams, clubs, or a myriad of other activities. Mepham provided us with a treasure trove of possibilities and choices. Whether it was through a challenging course, a dedicated teacher, or an influential extracurricular activity, we discovered our passions and interests that will in turn steer us towards our future goals. Perhaps, even more importantly, we also learned what did not resonate with us, and we adjusted accordingly to discover what we did have an affinity for. It is this determination and ability to shift our focus and alter our paths when necessary that will help us charter our way through any formidable challenges we encounter. In the face of this pandemic, the class of 2020 has stepped up to creatively circumvent the COVID crisis. Some of us have utilized skills acquired from our time at Mepham by making masks and other personal protective equipment for our frontline heroes. Others have contributed by arranging or participating in food drives to aid those in need. Still others have mitigated the current state of affairs by keeping the Belmore-Merrick Central District High School community informed and connected by creating informative news stories, heartwarming videos, and fun virtual game nights. We have all risen to the challenge of distance learning and proven to ourselves and the world that the class of 2020 will persevere and find ways to make the world a better place. Our teachers, administrators, family, friends, and parents have offered support, guidance, comfort, encouragement, and love all the way along our journey. We do not express it frequently enough, but thank you for everything you have done and will continue to do. To the class of 2020, I humbly impart this advice. If you are ever feeling gloomy, hop on an elevator. It's quite the uplifting experience, and it helps you on multiple levels. Congratulations, and may the force be with you, always.
Thank you, Spencer. With the highest academic average of the class of 2020, Alyssa DiGuardi has earned the distinction of valedictorian. Alyssa has been recognized as an AP Scholar with distinction and excels in everything she does, all while contributing countless hours to various projects and activities. She is self-directed and talented across all academic disciplines. Throughout high school, Alyssa has been a committed member of Mepham's Advanced Science Research Program, where she has devoted countless hours to collecting and analyzing data and delivering presentations on how clothing choices can alter perception. Alyssa will continue her pursuit of excellence next fall at the University of Virginia as an Eccles Scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, here to speak with you is your class valedictorian, Alyssa DiGuardi.
Good morning, everyone. What an honor and privilege it is to be standing here before you today. 2020 graduates around the world have been robbed of the graduation ceremony they have rightfully earned. And just a few weeks ago, we ourselves were unsure if we would get our moment across the graduation stage. It is thanks to good fortune, patience, and devotion of the Mepham High School community that we are here today, and the efforts of everyone involved in enabling the ceremony haven't gone unnoticed. Thank you to Mr. Gomez, Dr. Karn, Mr. Safina, Mr. De Rosario, faculty, staff, families, and everyone who has worked so hard to make this ceremony possible. Getting to see all of my friends and knowing that we are getting the graduation that we have earned means everything to me, and I'd never take such an opportunity for granted. Actually, if there's one thing in particular I've learned these past few months, is to never take anything for granted. Ever. One day, I was busy with schoolwork, a math test, scheduled events after school, college visits. But 24 hours later, everything changed, and none of that mattered. As Charles Dickens once said, it's crucial to reflect upon your present blessings. If I'm being honest, this is far from the senior year any of us have expected. The world threw a curveball at us, turning upside down the year we were finally supposed to be on top. There were no blueprints, no how-to books, no history to follow. Yet nevertheless, we refused to be knocked down, and we embraced a time in our lives that is rightfully ours. COVID-19 doesn't define us. Our story doesn't start here, and it most certainly doesn't end here. Instead, our story has been developing over the years, and it's thanks to our teachers, families, and friends who have stood by us that we are who we are today. So, when I reflect upon my present blessings, I'm thankful for my health, as well as the health of each and every one of you. For all of my teachers along the way, for challenging me and offering me the opportunity to explore my curiosities. For my friends, all of our late nights, inside jokes, group texts, bike rides, and bonfires that I'll cherish forever. And of course, for my family, for supporting and believing in me, and for filling my childhood with love and happiness. I don't say this nearly enough, but thank you to my brother Justin for making me laugh and teaching me something new each and every day. To my sister Jordan for reminding me to have fun and enjoy the little things. And of course, thank you, Mom, for your constant optimism and endless encouragement. And thank you, Dad, for cheering me on and for believing in me from the very beginning. You've inspired me to give things my all and have taught me that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is always giving that little extra. You guys are my biggest fans, and words can't explain how grateful I am for everything you've done for me. I have the best family in the world. This ceremony isn't the only graduation my family, like many other families, has experienced this year. My younger sister had her 6th grade drive-by graduation a few weeks ago, and watching her elementary school days come to an end brought back floods of memories of my own. In 6th grade, everything was so easy. The biggest decision you had to make was who to play with at recess, and no one criticized you for dreaming big. For those of you from Dinkelmeyer, you may even have faded memories of my graduation song. With friends and teachers to show you the way, we'll have to grow up and move on someday. How in the world is that day today? I often think of younger me, wondering what she would think of who I've become and what I envision for my future. Which is fun to think about, but unless any of you have a time machine, I'll never know her perspective for certain. By the way, if any of you do happen to have a time machine, please let me know after the ceremony. Though in actuality, I can't speak with past me, I'm more than capable of addressing the future me. And an assignment from my AP Literature teacher, Mrs. Seroff, has given me the perfect opportunity to do so. The week after AP testing, our class was told to write a letter to ourselves that she will deliver in 10 years, which is honestly one of the coolest assignments I've ever had. After the initial fears of sounding childish or completely predicting wrong subsided, I found myself at my dining room table at 2 in the morning, simply writing. I will not share my entire letter with you today, partially because most of what I wrote won't make sense to you anyways, and partially because I still want the contents of my letter to be a surprise for my future self. But part of my letter stuck in my mind as I wrote this speech, so I would like to share it with you now. Looking back, I enjoyed my time in high school. I truly did. I achieved what I set out to do, stumbled upon new opportunities, and pushed my limits, all while having the time of my life with friends and family. Nevertheless, I can't help but demand that something changes as I embark upon this new chapter in my life. As I enter college, all of the cards are in my hands. It's my responsibility to make my dreams the forefront and choose the unknown over comfort. In high school, it was easy to settle into a schedule and go with the flow of everyday life. But consistency is boring, and as said by P.T. Barnum, comfort is the enemy of progress. When reading this 10 years later, I hope I could proudly say I've continued to push the limits and have refused to settle with what's easy. Dad often reminds me now not to lose sight of the bigger picture, but I think it's just as important to love the journey, not solely the destination. Future me, I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Never take one single breath for granted. I hope you never lose sight of those mountains in the distance, never settle for the path of least resistance. What are the odds I'm still listening to that song on repeat, I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack? And I'll stop my letter there. The future isn't set in stone, and I encourage you, no matter your age, to speak to your future self, because you're in full control if future you will listen. Before I go, I would like to leave you with one last thing. When navigating through life, Dr. Seuss has advised to be who you are and say what you feel. Let's break that down. Be who you are. Class of 2020, I want you to close your eyes. Actually do it. Close your eyes and reflect back on the past 4 years. What legacy will we as a class leave behind? We're seniors, sure, victors of sports championships and academic competitions alike. But more than that, we're spirited and cheer each other on. We're involved in our community, in projects both big and small. We've stood in unison at walkouts and protests, worked beside one another at holiday charity events, stayed in touch when the world went viral. As for saying what we feel, we've never been afraid to fight for what's right and use our voices to fight for change. We've known for years how to remain social while staying at a distance, and have mastered technology like no other generation has. Now I want you to take this a step further. Picture yourself. Who are you? The real you. The you who has persisted through 12 years of schooling, has made and lost friends, faced challenges from daily life to a global health pandemic. A child, grandchild, perhaps a sibling. A compilation of ups and downs, challenges and successes, dreams, ideas, and memories unique solely to you. Today and every day, fight for who you are. Say what's on your mind and don't quit until your goals are your accomplishments and your dreams are your reality. Today is just the beginning, and from here on out, you're in full control. Class of 2020, you can open your eyes now, because our graduation year may seem more blurry than 2020 vision suggests, but we won't let that stand in the way of our visions. Because the legacy of 2020 will be remembered for our resilience, kindness, and determination in spite of hardships. And the legacy of you will be defined by your self-confidence, the use of your voice, and your journey that lies ahead. Behind you are all of your experiences that have pushed your limits, opened your eyes, and led you here today. Before you is a milestone in your life, with friends and family here to cheer you on. Ahead of you lies your diploma, a symbol of your hard work and recognition of your successes to come. And waiting for you is the rest of your life, so make the most of it, because we only get one shot at this. I want to personally thank my peers for the countless memories, both in and out of school, and for making my years at Mepham unforgettable. I'm forever proud to call myself a 2020 graduate. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Alyssa, and to all the student speakers for their very inspirational speeches. And thank you, Stephanie, for serving as our Master of Ceremonies at our first ceremony. Let's give them a round of applause again. We will now pay honor to all of our graduates as we call them to the stage to receive their diploma case. I ask that you try to hold your applause to the end so that student names can be heard and each can be recognized. Graduates, please remember to bring your index cards up and give it to Dr. Karn, who will be reading your name. I ask Mr. Safina and Mr. Del Rosario to also assist with this event. Let's begin.
Carly Abramowitz. Rebecca Acosta. Peter Agoglia. Zoha Ahmed. Kees Adi. Danielle Alder.
What? Are you kidding me?
Andrew Almon. Catherine Aludo. Kaylee Amalfitano.
Okay, I heard you, but it wasn't coming through my head. So it was
Jacqueline
out of
Amara.
Okay. Never mind.
Salvatore Ambrosino.
Okay.
Emily Angione.
I am. I am. I am.
Madison Anusas.
I'm good.
Stephen Arces. Conrad Areola.
Oh my god.
CJ Badenhop. Mackenzie Barrett. Lexi Batan. Grace Baer. Samantha Bellantoni.
Okay, good job. This person is
Stephanie Bello. Annika Bornson. Adriana Bonora. Jocelyn Boss. Nicholas Bradenberg. Amanda Bremer.
I literally can't say that.
Joseph Brown. Brianna Bonaro Swillis. Aisha Butt. Deanna Rosetta. Joseph Caggiano. Ashley Calder. Caitlin Cannon. Jason Canonico. Kevin Capizzola. Nicholas Caputo. Julia Cardes. Stephanie Cardoso. Gabriella Carlotti. Aiden Carolyn. Alyssa Carpentieri. Gianna Casamassima. Candace Casimir. Bianca Castaldo. Gabriela Castillo. Benjamin Chekla. Amar Chima. Ahmed Chowdhury. Peter Zappa.
All right. Before I begin the confirmation of graduates, I would like to thank a few people. First to Dr. Karn, Ms. Kratzer, Dr. Ruscio, our department chairs, security officers, clerical team, my own secretary, Ms. Peggy Schroeder, for arranging the components of this ceremony. I also want to thank a very supportive Central Office Administration and Board of Education, who were not able to attend all the ceremonies, but congratulate you on all your achievements. Thank you to the parent organizations, site-based committee for their continued guidance and assistance. And a very special thank you to Mr. Pennington and his outstanding custodial staff. They put all this together, and without them, we couldn't have this today. So thank you to them. Finally, thank you to our tremendous broadcasting teachers. You may hear them behind me there, directing everything, and students for recording and live streaming this ceremony. Again, a full link of the ceremony will get emailed to everyone on Tuesday, not on Monday. Now it's a time that you've all been waiting for. So will the members of the class of 2020 please rise? You can leave your diploma sleeves on your seats. Members of our Board of Education, I certify to you as trustees of the Belmore Merrick Board of Education, and Mr. DiTomaso, our superintendent, that the students before you have completed the required number of credits and passed the New York State exams in order to participate in the ceremony. Graduates, before my final words, you may move your tassels now from the right side of your caps to your left. With the authority vested in me by the State of New York and the New York State Education Department and the Belmore Merrick Board of Education, I declare you, the class of 2020, graduates of the Wellington C. Mepham High School. Congratulations. You may take a seat. Before we walk off on our recessional and go through the building, please wait for a staff member to direct you off the field. We will begin in the same order that we came in. So Carly, you're leading the way. As you quickly walk through the building, you must maintain 6 feet between you and the group in front of you. Also, your masks must be worn in the building. All graduates, you're going to receive your diploma, any awards from the senior award ceremony, and a gift in our main lobby. Ms. Dennis?
And we are pleased. Let's do this. Got it! Got it!